Despite a brief dip in carbon dioxide emissions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the world is still heading for a temperature rise in excess of 3 degrees centigrade this century. And even though a low-carbon pandemic recovery could cut 25% off the greenhouse emissions expected in 2030, based on policies in place before COVID-19, it would only put the world close to the 2-degree pathway. Only structural change will help us meet the required 1.5-degree target. Electrification naturally plays a determinant role in this structural effect, because as we electrify the economy, we increase the use of clean energy. And a different energy ecosystem overall, where decentralized renewable generation speeds up, will also be key. In this context, e-mobility will be extremely powerful, in first driving this electrification path, and second contributing to the overall efficiency of an increasingly decentralized system. And the good news is e-mobility has been picking up. Global passenger EV sales jumped 5-fold in 5 years, and they will continue to rise as battery prices fall, energy density improves, and more charging infrastructure is built, as well as sales spreading to new markets. While EDP is committed to lead an energy transition that is fair and inclusive, and sustainability has been a part of our DNA for over a decade. We're currently global leaders in renewable energy generation, and in 2020, almost 75% of our generation came from renewable sources. And we're keeping pace with the energy revolution now moving downstream. EDP has assumed a strong commitment with electric mobility and is focused on answering identified customer pain points that may be preventing clients from adopting an electric vehicle. I think the main pain point today is charging. And to address it, we provide a differentiated, innovative, and competitive offer for both public and private charging solutions to both B2B and B2C clients. Regarding private charging, we're focused on creating a robust portfolio that addresses main key segments, including condominiums, through increasingly digital solutions. And we have been looking for the right partnerships, such as fleet management companies, to be closer to the B2B segment and to develop integrated charging solutions from an early vehicle sales lease stage. On public charging, EDP has been investing from the beginning in increasing the number of charging points in key locations. And we are the player that grew the most in Portugal in 2020 in terms of installed charging points in the public network. In Spain, we have the ambition to double the number of contracted charging points in this year of 2021. In addition, we have set very concrete commitments regarding the electrification of our own fleet. By 2030, we want to electrify 100% of the light fleet and 50% of our heavy-duty fleet. And because we recognize the ambition to drive e-mobility and that it must also be fueled by collaboration, EDP participates in several partnerships and initiatives and global campaigns, all with the aim to accelerate this electric mobility adoption. Some of these are Your Electric, Charge Up Europe, and others. Well, as I mentioned, driving e-mobility further can only be done through structural change. A change that needs to be built upon common goals and a close collaboration across public entities, the private sector, and each and every one of us. Aligning regulation, technology, and customer needs will be determinant to electric mobility adoption at a global scale. So, assuming technology keeps evolving and decreasing the cost of EV adoption, and assuming that customers will increasingly opt for e-mobility solutions, e-mobility will be driven further through public policies and incentives that secure a fair level playing field, a stable operational framework for market agents, and financial support for EV infrastructure rollout in all locations, including rural and remote areas, and across all use cases, even where the associated economics may not be totally obvious. Through a private commitment to understand customer needs and invest in customer-centric charging systems, and digitalization and partnerships between companies may be critical during this process. So the current crisis exposed vulnerabilities in some business models, but at the same time, It represents a unique opportunity to refocus and to reprioritize effective stimulus and policies. So this only brings accrued responsibility to all agents, private companies, policymakers, governments, and other public entities to ensure the right action for this energy transition with lasting impact.